following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's over. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the stores. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the Korner Booth, find me in the Korner Booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant, slay the competition cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the Korner Booth, find me in the Korner Booth, Korner Booth.
I see myself. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or?
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
Lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Right, cool. Thank you. Shit. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
I only play that when Kevin's not here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Korner Booth pregame. It is a wild Thursday for just for football in general. I mean, it's only me, right? That my college team and my pro team are both playing. Miami kicks off in about a half hour, and my Birds kick off in about 2 against the Vikings. My Hurricanes play Bethune Cookman. If they lose this game, I may rescind my right as a Hurricanes fan. I might just give up on college football. So the line is 58.5 or 55.5 or something. I've never seen a line this big for a team that's not even inside the top 5. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Korner pregame. That was my giant cat trying to join the camera. I am your host, Jerry Clem, alongside my amazing co-host, Mr. Matt Ordazzo. My man was boots on the ground on Tuesday for one of the most epic games I've ever watched on Monday Night Football. That ending, as much as the beginning kind of sucked and the aftermath sucked, that game was fun.
Yeah, you have to have truly have been there to experience what I was experiencing, and I've never been a part of a game like that before, and I hope everybody gets to feel the way I felt that day. It was 1,000 fans were there. 90% of them were Jets fans. And we, instead of getting a towel or everything like we usually get at the beginning of the game, they gave us a wristband. And that wristband lights up white and green. And at around 7:30, Method Man was leading a light show, was introducing the players on the field, and the stadium went dark. The wristbands were flashing. It was just like a rave. It was just insane. 80-something thousand wristbands were going off, announcing the players, Rodgers coming out of the American flag, fireworks going off, the anthem and everything. And it was just an amazing game. And despite everything that happened, obviously, it was nice to see not only them still beat the Bills, but Zach Wilson beat the Bills. And I know I've said that I don't think the Bills are going to be that good of a team this year as they were last year, which I still feel that same way. I don't think they're as strong as they used to be, but they're still a good football team. They're still a team that's going to get into the playoffs. It's going to try and do some damage. And it was nice to still see him have the game that he had and win us and help us win that game. So I'm still confident. I'm still optimistic in the team and the season. And we have a championship defense. We have an amazing, probably one of the best running games in the league right now. We have the talent there. We have, with Garrett Wilson, you have the talent with the secondary and the defensive line. There's really no reason why they shouldn't still make some sort of run in the regular season and to get into the postseason.
You're right. Honestly, what's so crazy is that, and I was trying to explain this to my mom and one of my coworkers because they're both very big football fans, but they're not the biggest football people. Like they don't follow like the 5, 6 of us were going on the show today too. And it's that people don't understand if Rodgers can even mentor Wilson just enough not to make the stupid mistakes, that Jets team's a wild card team.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. Because honestly, I take the Jets roster over the Patriots right now. So, yeah, I mean, even though the Patriots played great last week. But before I get any farther, this man has been sitting patiently in our lobby for about 5 minutes. At this point, he should be used to this. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, obviously, friend of the show, host of High Low Sports, the Hunter Renfrow stunt double in his latest biopic action movie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bert of the Bert and Ernie of Bio Sports, DJ Stewart.
I mean, we're talking about the Jets. Hunter Renfrow looked awfully good in that Jets uniform to give him a number 2 receiver opposite Garrett Wilson. Make Zach Wilson's job a little easier. 3rd and Renfrow, 3 5-yard gains. Just throwing it out there, Jets.
Oh my God! Movie title for your biopic: 3rd and Renfrow.
Oh, the Raiders. They already have the trademark. All of Las Vegas and Oakland they already stole that. That's where I got it from. I wish I was.
I know, but nobody's wrote a script yet. By the way, fellas, I'm drinking an ice cream sandwich double IPA. It is fucking insane. It tastes like a alcohol infused ice cream sandwich, and it really is fucking good.
All right, well, Jared's gonna be calling in sick tomorrow.
I'm good, bro.
I would would not mind Hunter Renfrow. Right, I think there's got to be some moves coming. I would prefer right now another receiver move, just to get him some more weapons. Because let's be honest, I truthfully feel that Zach Wilson is this team's best option given the free agents that are available right now, like with Carson Wentz, with Matt Ryan, with anybody like that. If you're going to trade for somebody, you're not going to get, I don't know, Jacoby Brissett, Teddy Bridgewater, like the 2 best backups I could think
You're
of.
ignoring the prime solution. He's played for my team. He's played for DJ's team. You got to bring in Carson Wentz.
So no. Let's talk about. I'd rather Gardner Minshew, I think, right now than Carson Wentz.
Hey, do not disrespect the Fu Manchu.
Game of Fu Manchu.
So I just think Zach is the best option that they're going to field right now. Nobody's going to trade a starting quarterback at this moment. I gotta just live with, like Jared said, if Aaron Rodgers can mentor you for the 6 months, and I'll be honest, I did see improvements with him as a person. He seems a lot more mature. Seems a lot more like he wants to actually be good. Seems like he was absorbing. You could see some footages where his footwork is different than it was last year, mirrors Rodgers a little bit. So I'm hoping that as much as possible has rubbed off and absorbed into him. That's his idol. I'm sure he's learned a lot from him. So I'm praying for that. But the New York sports curse. Like, can we talk about, like, this was supposed to be the year for New York. Like, the Yankees came off, ALCS appearance the other year. The Mets were 101 win team last year. They both upgraded their rosters in certain aspects in the beginning of the year, and they enter the season. We're all thinking the Yankees are the favorites of the division. The Mets are the favorites of the division. Are we going to see a Subway's World Series? Edwin Diaz goes down. Carlos Rodon's back goes down. Aaron Judge goes down. Justin Verlander goes down. Jason Dominguez goes down. And then you're like, you know what? It is what it is. Football's back. Both teams got better. And all of a sudden, the week 1 happens for them, and Aaron Rodgers goes down for us. And it just feels like this is just, I don't know what happened, but New York is just not in the favor of the sports gods this year.
I think you guys need to sacrifice like Michael Rappaport or something to get yourselves back in order.
I don't know, man. Listen, like, you got to really be a fan of a franchise like the Jets, like the Commanders, Redskins, like the Browns, like the Lions.
Hey, you can't say that anymore.
You just got to be a fan of a bottom barrel team that always picks top 5, top 10, just to understand, like, this was supposed to be the year all greatness was going to finally happen for this franchise after, 50 something, 60 years. And for it to go to shit within 4 plays of the season is just absolutely absurd to me. But it's also on par with the Jets. It is a very much a Jets thing to happen. It's just, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah, it's it sucks. I was really sad. Even my mother and my father, who are the only games they watch are Vikings and Eagles games, right? My mom being an Eagles fan, my dad being a Vikings fan. And they won't watch anything really else. My dad might just throw on a game if he's working, but they were watching this game. And they were looking forward to seeing Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. It was like the hype around was crazy. And it's just the Giants, and I say every year that one of the NFC East 3, because we don't really count the Commanders because they're kind of just – it's kind of like giving a drunk guy a loaded landmine and hoping it doesn't blow up and making him walk across thorn bushes. He's going to drop it, and it's going to blow up. You just don't know how far he's going to get into the season. So, that being said, we thought like the Giants, the Cowboys, Eagles were all going to be good, and the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills were all going to be good. The Patriots are kind of going to stew around. The Patriots are good, decent. The Bills look, and the Dolphins can't stop scoring. So that being said, and yes, Matt, Kelsey's worried about you right now.
So I got a very quick story to tell you that will tell you which stage of the 7 stages of grief that I'm in. Pretty sure in like 1999, I think it was, because I've just been hearing this. I'm pretty sure in that year, Vinny Testaverde also tore his Achilles or had some sort of major season-ending injury, and then the Jets went on to get to the AFC Championship game. So yeah, you put the puzzle together on that one. So that's where I am in this the stage of grief. I think I'm in denial. I think that's what it is, to think that the Jets are going to replicate the 99 season because Aaron Rodgers went down week 1 after Vinny Testaverde was an honorary captain. So I'm doing pretty okay.
Curse is real.
Yeah. Doing as good as I can
Maybe
do.
the Zach Wilson experiment's a complete tank, and the Jets go 3-14 and end up with Drake May or Caleb Williams, and then you're a dynasty for 5 years. You know what? Maybe losing out's a good thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The
We're
problem, their
0-2.
roster is fucking loaded.
We're
You can
0-2 with
find a way to
USC quarterbacks. So
yeah, he's right. They just can't win with USC. You know what? He needs to hope they get like Michael Penix in like teens. Have him sit behind Rodgers for 2 years, and then there you go. Boom.
well, at least he said he was going to come back. He said, "I shall rise yet again."
Yo, honestly, everyone who say, "Oh, I don't know if he's coming back," it's like Rodgers is like a little sick in the head of how competitive he is. He's that same kind of competitive that like Brady, Jordan, like you see a lot of like LeBron. I wouldn't call LeBron that, but you know, like a lot of these like winner to the point where they're a little weird kind of guys are. Rodgers fits that bill, and like there's certain guys like DJ's boy Andrew Luck, blessed be his name, literally had that. He was so nerdy and odd. You could tell this dude all he cared about fucking sports and winning. Jalen Hurts with that creepy 1,000-yard stare he has during games, that makes me think he's got a little bit of that as well. There's also other, like Joe Burrow, how he's all Joe Cool, but during the game, he's got like this weird, like bug-eyed look in his eyes. There's certain like traits where they just look off, but off like they're calm, but they're not there. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but Rodgers has that kind of just weird mentality around him where, you know, all he cares about is he doesn't want to go out like this. Going out on your 4th play. Also, fuck the Maras for being so fucking cheap and not learning after years of fucking annoying, irritating injuries at MetLife. Every time the Eagles go to MetLife, I literally do like a cross motion before the game because I'm waiting for they to blow their fucking ACL out. So with that being said, in honor of this and DJ being here, we're bringing out something early in the segment today. Mr. Harper, take it away.
That's a clown question, bro.
Clown of the Week is brought to you by me. All right. I will raise you the owners and builders of the ugly recycling can that we call MetLife Stadium. So the Maras are on the clock. Gentlemen, are the Maras going to supersede? Who's actually the Clown of the Week? DJ, you're here last time for this. Who was it?
Was it? No, it wasn't AB. Somebody took it from AB.
Somebody took it from AB. We should know this by now. Shit. Wasn't it a baseball player?
I feel like it might have been.
No, it was the owner of a team. It was
Irsay.
It was Irsay, yes.
Because of the fucking whale, he put $20 million to move.
Yeah, Shamu that died before it even got in the tank.
R.I.P. Shamu. R.I.P. Just
Jesus.
like
Yeah, this shows what happens when I've worked I've been working all day and then to hop into working out, then hop into a fantasy draft. I hop in here, my brain starts mushing things together. That being said, by the way, DJ, love the flannel dude. I'm loving that pattern.
It's not even mine. It's the ladies. She left it here, so it's mine now. So she appreciates it.
Okay,
It does not fit anywhere below here whatsoever. It is. I am way too thick of a linebacker build for that. But
listen, as somebody who's been at least 2 to 6 like clothing sizes bigger than every girl he's dated, I can't relate. I one time hammered as shit, put on my college girlfriend's hoodie on, and I think I sent a drunk selfie to Matt, and it looked like a fucking sausage casing on me. That's the closest I got to it. I remember it was, Matt, I think it was Jen's hoodie I actually put on while I was fucking hammered, and it was like a fucking casing on me. Anyway, either way, I digress back to this. Who do you think the Maras, with the 5,000 fucking injury that they have had, at MetLife Stadium, is it warranted that we put them in for Clown of the Week? Because they just killed an entire team season because they're too cheap to put in natural grass. And the numbers speak for themselves. ACL, look, you can go back as far as to OBJ in Super Bowl. You can go back to every fucking injury it's occurred there. It's not like FedEx Field, where FedEx Field's just fucking cursed. Like, their bleachers tried to kill Jalen Hurts. They have poop pipes bursting and shit. But this is different. That turf is cursed. And this is just the latest part of it. So I will raise it to the Jets fan first. Matt, is your home stadium, are the owners and builders of that stadium at blame here? Are they the new Clowns of the Week?
Yes, I can. I mean, it could be biased, but I've been very much hoping for a new turf, new field in general. I prefer the grass. Many, like you said, just too many injuries to count as to what is even just that stadium alone that's suffered there. Especially with your pride and joy, Aaron Rodgers going down because of his foot getting caught up in that turf on that sack. So yes, very much we can put the Johnsons, we can put the Maras, we can put the grounds crew, we can put the friggin' ushers up there right now for all that.
All right. Dr. Evil, since you were going like this the entire time, I'm going to let you go next.
No, I agree with Matt basically at this point. It's one thing when you use your stadium to kill all of your opponent's best players, but now you killed your best player on top of it. So at this point, how are you not Clown of the Week where you're destroying your own season? It's one thing to sabotage everyone else, but now you're sabotaging yourself. I think we could chalk this one to, I think the Maras, I think they've taken the top reins for now. MetLife to the top.
Somewhere dodging a few federal agents, Dan Snyder's on a boat slamming a whiteboard saying, "That's how you do it, bitch." I kill other teams' players, not mine. All right. I agree. So, but I'm going to say this, and it's something that I think while I pull up our sound effect, symbolizing finally we have a new king of the Clown of the Week, right? I want to say this, and and we've talked about this at nauseum, and I think to more people, and they talk about a lot of McAfee because they have a lot of ex-players, Pac-Man, AQ Shipley, AJ Hawk, JJ Watt's now part of this rotation, apparently. They all talk about the turf. And the only bad grass field I've seen, besides RFK just being a shitbox, is what's Houston Stadium? Will they rename it to this time? We didn't hurt your player or us? I don't know. But that being said, it's got to change. Guys, grass will cut down on so many injuries. And as somebody who got to play on both as a home stadium in high school, the grass, nobody got hurt on grass except for contact. Contact injuries happen. But freak knee injuries only happen on turf. I will say that. And also, only place where people fall and trip on turf, a la Daniel Jones. But that being said, we have a new Clown of the Week, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Mara family. Oh, hit the wrong button. New Clown of the Week. All right. Fellas, we got a lot more headlines actually tonight. So, did y'all hear Dion?
What's the
man?
Alternates? Can I take the?
Yeah, 40? I put it up to 30. It still wasn't enough for me to throw money at it because I was just like, Vegas saw those comments and put the over under up by like 3 or 4 points. I'm sitting here a little disturbed. I think we might see actual like manslaughter in the football version on Saturday because like TCU, Matt Rule is just TCU. They just were disrespected. It wasn't really them. They just want to prove something. Nebraska, Matt Rule's just a dummy. He just comes by it naturally. It wasn't anything personal. They stepped on the logo. They actually called out Dion. That's the grand poobah of this shit. That's the big kahuna. Like all those players want to kill for that man. So, yeah, Colorado State was already a 20-point dog when I woke up this morning. I think it was up to 27 last time I checked. Somebody want to fact check that because, of course, the intern is enjoying his birthday by going to see Eagles Vikings tonight. So, happy birthday, by the way, intern Chris.
Interns don't get birthdays. Who approved this? This is
HR got at me because apparently I didn't let Samir celebrate his. That's why he turned into a jackass.
I thought that just occurred naturally. I don't bring HR into this.
No, listen. At some point, I think for podcasting, I am HR, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that's my case. Then there is no HR.
Listen, the fact that at my current day job, we sometimes make HR jokes, and we realize we actually do have a legitimate HR, even though we went without one for like 6 months, was hilarious. The story, the story at HR at my family, I will tell you guys off camera. At my family, at my job, is hilarious, and I'll tell you why it's hilarious after we get off camera because I don't want to spill company secrets because, obviously it's not a good idea. But it's just a funny story you tell your buddies at the bar. That being said, yes, happy birthday to Chris.
Colorado's spread is currently at minus 23.5, and they're
so win a fucking field goal today.
Negative 1,800 odds for the money line over.
Win a fucking field goal. What the fuck? All right, yo. Oh my god, I don't think it's enough. I think you should be able to. Also, by the way, DraftKings, why can't I set the money line to 50? You can set the money line for the Eagles for the Hurricanes versus Bethan Cookman to 50. Why can't I set it to 50? Oh my god. They might actually there's a couple games this weekend where I'm going to take a gimme. Well, Matt, so we'll go no further. Mason should be here in about 10 minutes and we'll start getting into more fantasy stuff as well, but we'll kick off first round in about 30 seconds. But I will say this for the record, because kickoff's in 7 minutes. My gimme's the Hurricanes. That's a given. Go Canes. That's it. Chris took the fucking Eagles, and I'm like, son of a bitch. You know what? If they, I am going to ridicule him in our team meeting on Wednesday.
Did you not tell him about the 2 NFL gimmies?
I told him about your streak. The only person who 2 gimmies back to back is this jackass with the freaking sweet back haircut. My man picked the Bills over a bottom 3 team last year, and then picked the 49ers when Jimmy G got hurt.
Yeah. And to my defense, it was against the Bears, who were supposed to be the worst team.
No, that was Trey Lance. Trey Lance got hurt.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh come on, you can't beat the fucking. Anyways, yeah, Chris is gonna either learn the hard way or he's gonna have a lot much better luck than I am. Are we going gimmies right now, or are we?
No, we're not. I just wanted to let that one loose before I get the Whiskey Myers music going.
No. Well, to quickly touch back up on that Colorado situation, it's not even the fact that he called Deion out. It's just the fact that he ended it with, my mother pretty much taught me to take my hat and glasses off when I'm speaking to adults. And I'm like, this man just pretty much said without saying, insinuating that your mom didn't teach you respect. So if I'm Deion, I'm thinking this dude just mentioned my mother.
Ooh, Deion. I believe Deion's from the South.
Oh yeah.
As somebody whose mother is from the South, listen, you don't disrespect the mom. All right? Listen, I may make jokes and I may call my mom a fossil because she's 60 years old, but I do that because I'm a shit talker. I can't help it. I talk shit to my fucking bosses, both Mikes, Delgado Mike and Belly Up Mike, and Belly Up Blade. I talk shit to everybody. It's who I am as a person. You need to look for. If I don't talk shit to you, it either means I don't like you or something's wrong. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt's watched me talk shit to my own professors before. People who affect my grades. Yeah. Anyway, me giving Dr. Goff shit because she wasn't an Eagles fan, even though she's from Philadelphia.
Yeah. Or the professors that are pretty much oh, you want to be sports journalism? Great. Why don't you go intern at the New Haven Register? No, I don't want to be a fucking news media.
I don't want to work for it. I think the New Haven Register is actually shut down now, right? It's gone.
Yeah, this is I guess that's how old we are. Going back to when it was around.
Dude, I graduated high school 10 years ago, May.
I just had my 10-year reunion.
Children. What's a 10-year reunion? My class president disappeared into the ether. I'm not going to make the. I'll make the joke in the group chat. But I'm not going to say it right now. But anything left with week 2, you guys want to get off your chest? Both you guys had rough week 1s. Before we get into all of us had rough week 1s. Honestly, my team should have beat the Patriots by 50. Honestly, DJ, I saw a lot of good things out of Anthony Richardson. I'm actually very impressed. I think he's got to calm down a little bit. He's a little reckless. You guys and your fucking reckless quarterbacks, I swear. And Matthew, obviously.
He's not raw. He's just inexperienced. He's not as raw as everyone thinks. He's not like Malik Willis or like Tyson Jackson or any of those weird ones. He just needs time. He just needs playing time. top 10 fantasy scoring quarterback this year when it's all said and done. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, no. Listen, Eagles tight end legend Tyson Jackson, bro, 6'7", ran a 4.5. Should have been an amazing tight end, but had problems running routes.
And Zach Wilson having a Zach Wilson-esque game, going 14 for 21, 140 yards and a touchdown and interception. But like, hey, like that's with this team, that's really all you're gonna not like all you're gonna need, but like look at how that defense performed, look how that run game performed. If Zach plays like that or better, then this team's got a good amount of wins hopefully coming their way. But yeah, other than that, no, as expected performance by my quarterback. Under 200 yards, touchdown, interception.
Yeah, so don't get canceled. Go check the private chat, and this is the joke that we made about our class president.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out now. I'm gonna insert the SpongeBob meme.
All right. All joking aside, all right. So, folks, we haven't done this in a while. We were going to do it because, one, the owner of the company was one of our guests tonight, but, of course, his internet, because he lives in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere in Nebraska, or Iowa now, actually.
Nebraska.
They're basically it's just one giant fucking cornfield, okay? But, ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
Potatoes.
Exactly. It is time for the first round presented by MaulerBros.com. Promo code Belly, 50% off. Let's kick that Whiskey Myers. It's not actually Whiskey Myers. Everyone knows that's my favorite band. Keep the Whiskey Myers poster back there. But I figured I'd throw something inspirational to them with a little whiskey glass in it. Anyway, first round, headlines. So first off, obviously the breaking news that nobody saw. So tonight's game, Eagles, Vikings, Kenneth Gainwell out, James Bradbury concussion out, Reed Blankenship, the starting safety, out. Sidney Brown will probably start in favor of Blankenship. Josh Joby or Keely Ringo will start in favor of Bradbury, which would be interesting against Jordan Addison, because, you know, Slay is going to follow around his son, Justin Jefferson, everywhere he goes. And, of course, look for a lot of Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift tonight in the backfield for Philadelphia, and a little Boston Scott mixed in. That being said,
well, in your expertise as an Eagles fan, what is your comfort level of somebody thinking about throwing Swift in as a flex?
No.
Do it.
I do not trust Nick Sirianni with running backs. I never have.
Now I have to see if he's referring to the league that we're all in, and he's telling me to do it, because I don't know who's on my team anymore with all the leagues I'm in.
No, my lady has DeAndre Swift, and I told her to start him. So this is about me being on the line. I don't give a shit about our league. This is my manhood on the line. Nick Sirianni has literally said we can't have a game where DeAndre Swift touches the ball twice. So either DeAndre Swift's going to get you 25 tonight, or is he going to get you 5? There's going to be no between.
Nick Sirianni, I love him to death. He's my favorite Eagles coach of all time besides Big Red. I love Dougie P, but Dougie P wasn't here long enough. Fuck Chip Kelly. I've been alive for 5 Eagles coaches. The end of the Buddy Ryan era, whoever the fuck coached between him and Andy Reid, God bless you, Big Red. Dougie, that short little Napoleonic piece of shit racist fuck, Chip Kelly. And then the Paisan Nick Sirianni. That being said, I love Sirianni because he's such a fucking bullshit artist to the media, but he's not like Bill Belichick where he's a dick. He just you can tell he's poker facing. I wouldn't be surprised if Swift gets 25 carries tonight. I also wouldn't be surprised if he gets 2.
My options are
against the Vikings defense. Everyone's going to eat, so I'm going to take the upside.
Well, our boy Frank Mike Smith, shout out to our dog for coming on Tuesday. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The links all over our social media. Frank, of course, stopped by for the first hour. He did say, and he texted me about it afterward, and I commented on his Instagram today, and I'm like, yo, I'll text you my product. He goes, yo, Hurts is going to eat today. I'm like, yeah, because Brian Flores can't stop doing man-to-man defense. That's the one thing Jalen Hurts can destroy is man-to-man defense. Zone, my boy struggles. That's why Bill Belichick was in zone 80% of the game last week.
Well, my options in this particularly, there's 2 flexes. Currently, I have Michael Thomas and Javonte Williams in there. So it would either be if anybody feels confident.
Don't touch it. That's fine.
I formally disagree. I think you throw DeAndre Swift in there. I digress. I think the Eagles are going to be a weird committee thing, and this is DeAndre Swift week. Next week, you put his ass on the bench, but I think this is the week you play him. I think
just
he's going to
drafted
be involved in the passing game too. I think he'll get involved in the passing game early. And then that's when Jalen Hurts will start throwing bombs to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, everything, once they roll that second safety down.
Well, it is a free league, you know.
I want you to do with what your heart desires. So that way you can't yell at me if he has a terrible game. You can't yell at Jared if he gives you 30. Actually, you can yell at Jared. I don't care. So
No, he yells at me anyway. This is what happens when we've been friends for fucking a decade.
I don't listen to Jared, but if I'm right, then I'm just gonna laugh next time I say that.
Well, there you go. By the way, shout out to Josh. He's having struggles with the link. Listen, I just texted him. I'm like, by the way, he is the owner of Mala Rose. By the way, he's a friend of ours, one of our colleagues here. Great golf apparel, by the way. Other headlines as we roll through here. Baker Mayfield. Have y'all heard the story this week about how he apparently was picking up the Vikings signs before the snap, and he was able to diagnose coverages? I can't tell if it's more impressive for Baker or more depressing for the Vikings. Discuss. What do you think?
Yes.
I like it.
That's embarrassing for the Vikings that a quarterback who's been described as mid, to put it politely, is able to completely rip apart your defensive signals. And at the same time, that's pretty good on Baker to have the mental acuity to pick that up as well. So honestly, it's a tip in the hat for him and a spite to the Vikings at the same time. And if you think Jalen Hurts isn't going to be keeping an eye out on that as well too,
oh my God.
I said, pick anybody on the Eagles and play them this week for fantasy. They're all going to eat.
I did a parlay where I think I had Hurts doing 1,000 things, 1,000 different I'm like, oh, Hurts' longest pass 40 yards. Hurts throws 0 interceptions. That I figure fuck it, I'll throw $1, I'll win 20. It's like shit. Who gives a fuck?
Ask Kelsey about it. He won $800 the other day, so he's the betting guy right now.
I mean, listen, I cleaned up. Everyone laughed at me for the Lions. I'm like, Lions are pissed off. No Kelsey, no Chris Jones. Roll with it. It's like, listen, what's the worst that could happen? They lose by a fucking point.
I just need over the 4.5 receptions on Hawkinson and the over on the Smith receiving.
You will get the Hawkinson. Eagles have always struggled underneath with tight ends. It's their biggest weakness in their defense. Where they beat you is they shut down your receivers. They struggle, especially now that Nakobe Dean's out until week 5 or week 6. Tight ends will eat against Philadelphia, but they will not score. They won't tight ends put up good numbers against Philly, but they shut down all your big play weapons. So you got to waste all of your time on the clock getting down the field. I will say this, though, off the rip, I think tonight's going to be a fun game. We'll talk about Sunday football when Mason gets here, obviously. But going back over, I love that Baker Mayfield. I'm here for the Baker Mayfield redemption tour, by the way. I think the Bucs may actually win this division because I actually am a little more terrified of them than the Saints. I think the Saints have a flawed offense, and Dennis Allen's a bad head coach. I think the Bucs have a lot of weapons. Baker has a decent running game. They have an okay offensive line, and Baker hates everyone enough where he actually could turn this into a decent season. Listen, he won 6 games with Freddie Kitchens, who is basically has the IQ of a 2-year-old puppy. Actually, it's insulting a 2-year-old puppy. Whereas Todd Bowles, as much as he's not a great head coach in Matt's eyes, he learned under Bruce Arians to stay the fuck out of the offense. And honestly, I think Brady was shot last year. They still made the playoffs. So the Bucs are could be my surprise division winner, honestly.
They could, mostly an indictment on the rest of the division, but yeah, they have as many weapons as anyone. All Baker has to do is play like it's 2020 again. They could cook very easily. I think that defense is still loaded. It's just old, but it's
just the best receiving core he's had his entire career. I think since CeeDee Lamb and Rambo back in 2018.
Yeah, he had Hollywood in there too. Throw Hollywood in there.
It was CD, Hollywood, Charles Rambo, and somebody all our guys are on pro rosters now. But and fucking Mark Andrews and Joe Mixon. So seriously.
It was for a year. Oh damn it! He had so many weapons. Holy cow! You're just listening to roster.
Everyone wonders why he was so fucking good. No, I think honestly though, Baker has always been very intellectual when it comes to offense. I think the problem is he gets too reckless, and he has the best receiver to be reckless. That's Mike fucking Evans.
He out there somewhere.
He out there. He's basically like Diet Coke Megatron.
Diet
fair.
Dr. Pepper. The Diet Coke's fucking terrible, but yes. Same
Oh
thing.
yeah. Listen, I don't get with Cuisine and all those motherfuckers from New York who like DC is the shit. I'm like, DC tastes fucking rat boys. I'm not get the fuck out of here.
I'm not gonna lie, Diet Dr. Pepper. I don't see the difference. Tastes just like regular Dr. Pepper.
Not to quote the commercial, it's a little sweeter and a little like chemical tasting. I don't know, but I like even regular DC. I just don't drink soda much anymore. The only soda I still drink is like I'll have a Baja Blast like occasionally. But that's about it.
I just like Baker Mayfield's shot at the Astros. He's like, nah, bro, I'm not an Astros fan. I'm a Rangers fan.
Fair enough. All right. Also, I don't know why Mason or Chris did like Stetson Bennett's on the non-football elements list. Who cares? Non-football injuries before we start talking about picks and everything else. Austin Eckler did not practice. Neither Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, Jacoby Myers, or Raheem Mostert. But Raheem Mostert, as of an hour and a half ago, is playing this week. So he was also my last draft in my work draft. So that was fucked up and fun. Speaking of the Dolphins, Tua, about people still doubting his arm strength. As a member of the Tua haters club, I don't think he's a bad person or even a bad quarterback. I just now worry about his brain health. And his mechanics. Dude's got a cannon. Dude has good accuracy. But this like rock'em sock'em robot release he has scares the piss out of me. But dude played well last week. Lit up that Charger secondary. He made J.C. Jackson look like a second string corner. Looking like man coverage Josh Norman out there. But it was a good time. I think I have the Dolphins winning tonight against the Patriots, one of our 6-pack picks. But that being said, we move on. I guess we'll start without fucking Mason because it's like already 7:39 and I don't want to make this go too late. So, gentlemen, if there's anything else you guys want to bring up, wait, did Giannis get his text? Oh my God, I love this kid. All right. Matt, anything else you want to talk about before we roll into it? College football. Like, I want to say this though. College football this week sucks. Okay? There's no good ranked games. I was digging for 20 fucking minutes. At one point, I had UNC versus Minnesota. And then I realized Minnesota hasn't played anybody good. And I'm like, oh no, this ain't going to work. I pulled out K-State versus Mizzou.
There you go.
I was hoping for our Big Ten guy, fucking Josh, to show up. But of course, his internet decides to go the way of the dodo. So
I don't know. I guess the only one thing I could think of, I would say keep my eye on Baltimore Ravens with a possible Kareem Hunt signing. Because if there's anybody in the world right now that needs a running back, it's got to be the Baltimore Ravens right now. I'm calling him.
The team in Indianapolis, who's basically their running games.
He's already visited them.
Come back.
He already paid them.
I'll get a kick out.
Who's the other big name free agent running back available right now? Because I know Lenny signed back with the fucking Bucks and nobody talked about it.
Did Lenny sign back with them?
He's listed on Yahoo as on the roster.
Oh, well, if he did, then I don't know who else was left. I was the only
very quiet of him.
Miles Gaskin, he can ball.
Oh, there you go. Miles Gaskin, the resident receiving only back.
One of the kids in our fantasy league that I put together went to high school with him. And that's how I first heard about him. Then in 2020, when he was the starter for the Dolphins, he helped me win a fantasy league, scoring.
Is that 16 the jackass who took Jalen Hurts?
No, that's a different one.
Okay. I was so
Miles Gaskin was on the Vikings, I think.
He got released from the Vikings. They cut him right before week 1. So they brought him in and cut him almost immediately for no reason.
All right.
And they lost for it.
Well, gentlemen, I just cracked my beer by mistake. So, oh my God, he made it. Sweet Jesus. Joining us now from a basement in Iowa, rocking a God, take that fucking hat off, you bastard. Oh, wait, no, that's
gotta
Oklahoma.
keep it on.
That's Oklahoma. Never mind. I thought that was a Chiefs. From the angle of the Chiefs
you got your quarterback from me. You got to keep your mouth shut.
Listen, I have the hat right here. God bless. And also, he's on my fucking T-shirt. But I got both fucking teams playing tonight, so we're working. All right. Mason is coming in Mason might show up at some point. I'm done waiting for him. Ladies and gentlemen, I cracked a beer while we were talking. It's a 6-pack presented by our friends at candidips.com. Promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off. Listen, if you're like me, I dipped a long time. I worked in the blue-collar field most of my life. It's not good. It's not good for your teeth. It's not good for your gums. It causes cancer. Not good for the ladies either. Listen, the reason I quit is because I spit out some dip in front of a girl who was way out of my league at a concert. I said, that's it. I'm done. And then I started getting cravings when I was working contracting again. And then Candidips comes around. They start working with us. Amazing flavors. Everything from like mint and wintergreen all the way up to peach, mango, and Arnold fucking Palmer, boys. When you drink that, drink a little water while you're chewing on that shit. It tastes like you're drinking an Arnold Palmer without the calories. I can't tell you enough how good these guys are to us at Belly Up, at Korner Booth, and to myself. See for yourself right now. BellyUp20.com. BellyUp20 for promo code 20% off. Amazing product, amazing value. Check out their Big E bags. You get 50 pouches for the price of a tin and a half. That's crazy. I fill up to the brim 2 full tins on that shit. So, official sponsor Belly Up Sports and the Belly Up Podcast Network and Korner Booth and the 6-pack and the dartboard and everything else of this fucking podcast. Anyway, today's a big week, fellas. We have the first house upset of the year. Mason is missing. Matt, if you want to text him to see if he's alive, it would be great. We're starting off in the Big 10 SEC, Big 12 SEC crossover. Josh, I'm hoping you give me some insight here since you're a college football expert in my opinion. K-State, Mizzou. I was originally going to do Minnesota, North Carolina, but I realized Minnesota has played 2 bottom-tier teams, and they barely beat both of them. And Drake May is due to light somebody up, and I feel like that would be it. So I switched to this one off the rip. Josh, since you're my resident college football expert, I'll start with you. And go. I'll let this kid, I'm not going to introduce him. Everyone knows Mason.
Well, I guess I'll delete the text now.
Yeah, right? All right. Mace, welcome in. Josh, what do you got for this game right now?
Not personally. So I don't think we actually had our episode released because I've been having issues. That's kind of why I'm on here late and everything. But we just recorded an episode last night. I should get it up and ready tonight. But literally talking about this, this is one of the games we were talking about. I think this is a cover that you can take for K-State. I think K-State wins this game. I think they've looked really solid. I think their defense is standing up tall. They haven't really had a tough slate of, in the schedule yet, but I think K-State looks good. They look like a whole team. They look like they could be another team that could run the Big 12 again, just like they did last year. So K-State's really tough. Mizzou just doesn't show enough. And they, when you're playing a cupcake team, you expect to handle them a little better than what Mizzou's done. So overall, I'm looking at K-State. I think this is kind of a disrespectful line. I think K-State by 8. I think an 8-point spread is more like what I'd be looking at. So personally, I'm going K-State pretty hard on this to cover that 3.5-point favorite.
There you go. All right. Our other Big Ten guy, our other Sooner, Mason, you just got in here. I did as best I could with the rush report injuries. I kind of blew through in about 30 seconds. So give us some knowledge here. K-State, Mizzou, who you got?
I agree. Look, K-State is my sleeper to make the playoff. I think that they are really well put together. A lot of returning players on this squad who beat the national runner-ups last year, and they've looked good through the first 2 games. I don't see this stopping anytime soon. To me, K-State has I know this is kind of a hot take, but I think that they have a better shot at beating Texas than OU does, even though that's a huge rivalry game. But, yeah, I don't see any reason why K-State doesn't cover here. I don't see any reason why they don't win this by double-digit points. Missouri is not a good football team. I'll reiterate that. Like they are not, a good football team on either ends of the ball. They've got really nothing to show for themselves right now. Are they playing this game in Columbia? Is that where this game is?
I'm pretty sure it is. That's what I was just now looking up, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why I
Yes.
think I can understand this line. Yeah, it's in Columbia. That's the only reason why I feel like this line. That's why I put it like at 8. Just because I feel like 8.5. That's pretty fair.
I remember the knock being. I was seeing on Twitter earlier this week that this is like the first time that Missouri sold out like a football game in like a number of years. And
It's just
people
surprising with how small their stadium is.
Well, and then the gripe was that it's sold out because K-State fans travel really, really well, not because you have this like sudden explosion of fandom amongst like Missouri Tigers football. But I don't see why K-State doesn't easily cover this and win this game convincingly.
All right, Mr. DJ, Mr. Wearing the Girlfriend's Flannel, what's going on?
Anyone who's been to Missouri, though, they know how dangerous that could be. There's a lot of fun to be had in Columbia, Missouri. So that could be one reason maybe the spread's a little bit low is that they have a little bit too much fun the night before the game. That being said, though, K-State should run away with this one. They should 8 points, 5 points, 13 points, 24 points. Kansas State's going to win by double digits. Maybe not 24, but double digits.
I got to roll with you, too. Honestly, I tried to pick Mizzou, and I started looking at how they played the last 2 games. I was like, nah, Jared, this ain't it, bro. Don't be doing something stupid here. And also, my gimme already kicked off in the rip 7-0. Tyler Van Dyke just ran in a touchdown. It's going to be one of those type of games. I honestly, I didn't even put it in my 6-pack parlay for DraftKings because it actually made my parlay worse. So I just said with a 50-point fucking like money line, I said, you know what? I'm going to let this roll. I'll only put 6 in the parlay this week. But as DraftKings is officially sponsored by Belly Up Sports, if you haven't checked it out, our link is in the Belly Up Sports description. DraftKings is the superior sports book. All right. Anyway, DJ, continue.
No, that was it. That was all I had. Is K-State runs away with it, like double digits. That was
No, fair enough. I got you.
Mizzou.
I like I said, obviously, I tried to do Mizzou 6 times over, and then I realized K-State's just a superior roster. They almost took down fucking TCU twice last year. So we'll finish up with Matthew. What do you got here, buddy?
Yeah, unless you gave me a 4-pack of those double IPAs that you're drinking right now, plus maybe a few shots, maybe I would accidentally hit the Mizzou button. But I'm not gonna. I'm sober, and I'm not gonna accidentally hit the Mizzou button. I'm gonna take K-State because you'd have to pay me a lot of money to take Mizzou. Plain and simple. It's K-State with ease. 9.5.
Game's over by halftime, man. You're not going to have to watch the second half of this one.
Well, and I will say I think Mason can kind of hop on the same board that I am. That even last week I looked at like the Oklahoma spread being only 16 points. Like really, that's disrespectful. And that one came way closer. So maybe Vegas knows what they're talking about. So that's
100%.
In college, they always do.
Vegas.
That's the thing, fellas. College, they know what they're talking about. NFL, it's like trying to shoot something drunk at night. Like you can't see shit. Like, but at least in college,
they have the info that we don't, man. At least
for college. Oh, Josh, you missed it. You were on here. Neither were you, Mason. So because of the comments that Colorado State's coach made today, the line went from 20 to 23.5 today only. Wow. I woke up this morning, it was 20. I go and check on the way home. It's like 21.5. Matt checked mid-show is 23.5. I was like, son of a bitch.
I'll take that spread at 30.
I'll take fucking 35.5.
Yeah.
Shit.
That alternate.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be surprised. Just because I know Deion Sanders is a respectful guy, he might shake his hand, but I would not be surprised if he doesn't shake his hand when that game's over.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
All right. Moving on, Matthew, your team. The LSU Tigers. Go Tigers. 9.5-point favorites on the road at Starkville. Stark Vegas rolling through. All right, we'll start with DJ. Deej, who you got?
LSU wins, but I don't think they cover the spread. I think they probably win like set by 7 or something like that. I think it's weird they're a little bit closer. LSU still don't think they're quite what we expected them out of the gate, especially myself. I'll still think they win, but I don't think they cover the 9.5. I don't think they win by 10.
All right, Mr. Matt, your Tigers.
Yeah, you know, you get completely embarrassed week 1 against FSU. You come out last week and you just blow Grambling State away. So I'm looking for LSU to just kind of pick up another another victory here to kind of get their streak going a little bit, get some juice back into that team. So give me LSU over Mississippi State.
The humble brag of beating Grambling. Great job, buddy.
70 to some.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Mace, what do you got?
Yeah, I think Mississippi State covers here, man. Starkville, historically, a very hard place to go play for the rest of the SEC teams.
But you're
Doesn't matter.
taking LSU to win the game.
Yes, LSU to win, Mississippi State to cover.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, look, this is a very hard place to go play. It doesn't matter if Mississippi State has 3 wins, 4 wins. It's a very hard place to go play. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's very similar to having to go up to West Virginia. It's hard to go up to Morgantown when the team is half decent and win a ball game. At least that's the way it was for a while. They suck now, but that was never like a gimme for any Big 12 team. So, yeah, LSU wins, but Mississippi State covers.
All right, I will take LSU as well, Matt. I'm going with the Tigers this week. What would have been my actual college? My biggest thing was with this game is I tried to make all the reasons in the world why Mississippi State would win, and I just had a mental fucking breakdown trying to pronounce that. Why Mississippi State would win, and I literally had less reasons than Mizzou beating Kansas State, and that was all I needed to think about.
Do you want me to give you a reason?
All right, fire away, Josh. Are you taking?
So I'm gonna be the odd man out. I'm gonna take Mississippi State not only to cover the spread. I'm gonna take them. This isn't a pick that I would put my money on. It's just a weird hunch that I've got with Mississippi State. So for one, Mississippi State, rest in peace, Mike Leach, the Pirate himself. They're fighting for a lot this year, trying to do this for him, in honor of him. And so I think that's one thing that I look at. And like Mason says, Stark Vegas is no place to go into and just kind of waltz into. And I think LSU, the reason why they lost in week 1 was because they didn't look back at last year and realize why they struggled so much throughout the season. And that's because they don't ever try to air the ball out. And something that Florida State did in that week 1 matchup was that they just came right at LSU, and they were not scared one bit about their passing attack. And LSU didn't try to pass the ball, put the ball 20 yards down the field, air it out a little bit. And that's whenever you see Jaden Daniels do the best. And I don't see that from LSU this year. They haven't made any adjustments. And another thing is that Florida State adjusted really well on the offensive side, and LSU did not adjust whatsoever. And so, of course, I think LSU is trying to bounce back. I think they're going to try to make those adjustments, but I'm kind of looking at Mississippi State thinking they are not scared of LSU one bit. I think that they can make this a scary game. So I do think they cover the spread. I'll even go a step further and say that I think they may pull off the upset there at home against LSU this weekend, just because they catch LSU sleeping.
I think I will take, probably as a betting man, I will take them to cover the spread, but I'm not touching this as a win. I'm going with the Tigers.
Well, and one other thing too with Mississippi State, I guess the reason why I see that is that you see how their offense was under Mike Leach, always a passing team. That doesn't usually work too well in the SEC. But if you look at what they are right now, I think last week, I'm pretty sure Will Rogers only threw something like 15 to 17 times.
It was, I thought, 18. This is where I need to get intern, but it's his birthday. He's off today. I need my intern right now.
Yeah, I mean, their run game is just phenomenal right now. Again, it's only the first 2 weeks, so we really don't know. But it's just such a different team that I think that's also going to throw LSU off a little bit too.
Fair enough. All right, who hasn't picked? Somebody hasn't picked yet.
No,
I think everybody got that one.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I feel better about myself. I actually am doing this correctly this time. Last year there was a couple times I let people not pick. All right, we're going to the big boys. All right, we'll start off in Detroit. The Sea Chickens versus the Lions. I say that because those fucking bums in Seattle annoyed the hell out of me last weekend. How do you lose to the goddamn Rams, who have a bunch of practice squad guys and Matt Stafford? Anyway, Lions are 5-point favorites at home. This ain't going to be an upset. This Lions team's out for blood. Give me the Lions at home. It's going to be close. Seahawks might cover, but I think the Lions will actually get the win here. This is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs' coming out game. I think he's going to get moving a lot. I think the biggest problem with Seattle is they did not establish a dominant pass rush, and that's why Stafford was able to move the ball last week. And they still haven't figured that out. They won't until the trade deadline. I think they're still going to struggle trying to get after the passer. So, that being said, give me the Lions to get the dub here.
I'm going to go off and say this is going to be my upset pick right here. So I'm going to take the Seahawks over the Lions. I was very surprised last week when they lost to the Rams. I think this is going to be a bounce back game for Geno Smith. With DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith playing, you should be fine with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet in the backfield. This just to me screams Seattle's bounce back game. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, like what Josh was saying with his Mississippi State pick. So give me with my upset pick. I'll take Seahawks over Lions.
I think I do see your point. I think next week or the week after is going to be the come down point for Dan Campbell and company. But I think this week I think it's going to be a shootout. It's the home opener. Like, they might beat them by 40 or they might lose by 2. This is the fucking Lions we're talking about. But DJ, Lions see chickens.
See, the Seahawks will definitely cover the spread. I think they'll go ahead and outright win it as well, too. I think they'll find a way to get it going. Evan Witherspoon's supposed to be coming back, too. I think that's going to help in your secondary. And on top of that, I think, I think Amani Oruwariye might be missing this game in the secondary for the Lions as well. So that secondary is going to be a little bit thinner going up against this receiving core. I think they'll get back on track.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Josh.
I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think they win this game. I think they cover the spread. I do like a lot from what we saw in the improvements on the Lions defense. Aiden Hutchinson was an animal. The only criticism I have, I think I mentioned this on our show too, is that he was definitely hitting Patrick Mahomes a little too late, a lot. And it's just the fact that they call it every other time, and they weren't calling it that night. I don't know what the deal was there. That was just a little strange to me. But he was getting back there, and he was causing a lot of fuss in the backfield. And so he was an animal. Almost every single play, he was causing something to kind of go crazy. So I think this defense has taken a huge step forward. I think that's going to be a really tough thing for the Seahawks to stop, is that pass rush, being able to keep Geno on, being able to keep him clean, I think is going to be really tough against this Lions defense. And I like what the secondary put together too. And that by the secondary, I mean Kadarius Toney tossing the ball over to him. But outside of that, I mean, I look at this offense. I think the offense, I think the best player on their offense was Jahmyr Gibbs against Kansas City, and he wasn't out there. I think he only had 7 carries. So it was just, I think as long as you give him the ball more, let him go out on the field a little bit more. And I think this offense could be really dangerous. But I'm kind of up there with Matt. I feel like maybe the defense wasn't as good as we might give them credit for. Maybe it will be a higher scoring game. Maybe it'll turn into a shootout. But I'll take the Lions to win and cover the spread, though.
Fair enough. And Mason, you're the tiebreaker here. Who are you taking?
I'm going Lions, man. This team looks sharp. I know that they barely got away with one in KC last week, but look, at points this offense just looked absolutely, over the top. It looked really good, totally sharp. I agree with you, Jared. I think that this is kind of the game where people open their eyes to just how good and dynamic Gibbs is. Just because, he didn't really have that many opportunities last Thursday. He had that one opportunity kind of in the red zone where he slipped and he could have had that touchdown, but really didn't have very many plays where he was able to get in the open field and do what he does best. So I completely agree. I think it's going to be a nice game for him. And, the home opener for the Lions, man, I don't think they're losing. This is the biggest.
That crowd to me raucous.
Right. and I mean, really just to think about it, this is the biggest Lions home game in what?
Probably
20 years. I mean, I would say at least. So, the buzz around the Lions is super, super high. I don't see them losing this game, particularly at home. If this was in Seattle, I can maybe see it going, either way, but at home, no way the Lions drop this game.
All right. Going up next, we have the Chiefs and Jaguars. The intern took this as his upset. He has the Chiefs going 0-2 now. Just saying. I don't know who I'm picking yet. I will hear y'all please first, and I'll kind of decide from there.
Hey, I'll start out, man. I gotta join Chris here, man. Kansas City. Look, I know that Kelsey is probably going to come back in a limited kind of form. He's not going to be himself. I know he practiced yesterday in a limited way, I guess is what I heard. I don't know how he practiced today, but hey, the Jags looked sharp last week. Lawrence had 2 turnovers. That's all right. He's still a kid. He's still making mistakes. Or sorry, just one turnover. My fault. But Kansas City did not look good. Let's not forget that. Defense, offense, they did not look sharp. Forget the 2, the drop by Kadarius Toney and then essentially gifting the Lions a pick 6. Forget about that. The offense did not look good. Mahomes without Kelsey, and even with him, I don't think he really has any options. Defenses can completely lock down Kelsey or try to, and he does not have another guy who he is confident in to throw the ball to. So I think the Jags. Where is this game? I'm sorry, I am.
This game
so
is
off
in
here.
Jacksonville.
Okay, I mean that kind of adds to it too, man.
Move on.
So hey, I'm taking the Jags to win this one. I think KC's 0-2. This is kind of the game that makes them wake up, have that locker room meeting, and then week 3 they just crush Chicago.
I mean, they could crush Chicago with you at quarterback, but that's not really saying much at this point.
I'm just saying it's going to be like a 50-14 type of game.
No offense to DJ's boy Zach Keelman, but the Bears might be crosshaired for the rest of the season at this point. Speaking of DJ, who are you taking? Jags and Chiefs.
Yeah, we're going to take the Chiefs, and they're still going to cover the spread. If Travis Kelsey plays, they'll win by double digits. The Jaguars are nice. Their offense will be great. It'll be high scoring. The Jags' offensive line did not look that great last week. They were getting after
Jags. Defense looked ugly.
It was not that great when you're going against a guy who's played 14 football games in the last year on top of that. So I'm going to say the Chiefs will win this one and they'll cover. Offensively, Calvin Ridley is legit. He's a receiver 1. They're going to put up points. But the Chiefs, I don't think they're going to follow too. They're going to have their way with that defense as well. And they get 10 days to get ready for him, considering they played Thursday. That's a lot of time for Big Red. So give me the Chiefs, and they'll cover, especially if Travis plays.
I say take the over. If you want to,
100%.
Goddamn! I literally said I didn't know who to pick in this early when I did my parlay. So I said, "Fuck it, take the goddamn over."
I mean, exactly. If you watched last week's Jaguars game against the Colts, they are completely taking the reins off, and they are letting Trevor Lawrence just absolutely
rip this
do
shit.
whatever he wants. Especially now with Ridley,
Carson Wentz all over again, just swinging the rock, but with way better weapons, just fucking ripping it.
Yeah,
they may honestly win 12 games this year, and I would not be surprised. Josh, who do you got?
Man, I really want to take the Jags. I like that pick. I don't see the Chiefs starting off 0-2. I just don't think Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes is going to let that. If Travis Kelsey and Chris Jones are both out, I don't know where Chris Jones stands. I don't know if you guys
signing new deals. He'll be in.
He's going to play, but he's definitely going to be limited snap count because he hasn't touched the fucking snap. Okay,
yeah. So I mean, if both of them are in, I don't think. I think this is going to be close. I think the Jags could cover the spread. It could come down to where, and I just looked it up too. It's sitting at 51 for the total. I'm with you, Jared. I would take the over. But I think I'm going to take the Chiefs, and I'm going to take them to win it by a last-minute field goal. I think it's going to be the Jags start off hot. They look good. But then at halftime, there's adjustments. The Chiefs come back and end up winning it by a field goal there at the end. So I'm going to take the Jags to cover the spread that way. But it's a little tough, especially after seeing what the Chiefs put together last Thursday. But I think that's an anomaly for the season for them. I think Kadarius Toney has a big game and bounces back. I think he's really upset with the way that he played. So yeah, I'll take the Chiefs, but maybe the Jags to cover that 3.5. But I'm definitely taking the over.
All right, Matthew, we going with a clean sweep, or we breaking it up in the corner booth front?
Oh, we're sweeping. Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs on this one.
Oh my gosh,
We,
man.
No, that's not what I
listen,
meant. Like the whole thing was because Chris and Mason both took Jags. So the thing was, are we all four of us taking the Jags?
Oh yeah, no, I'm breaking this party up. I'm gonna be the party pooper in this one. You got
Matt,
Kelsey
I'm proud of
coming
you.
back. You got Chris Jones coming back. You know, all of those third, fourth downs that they couldn't convert because nobody could catch the ball. If you had Kelsey on the field, they would have made all of those first downs. And the one thing that they were missing was just some pass rush, and Chris Jones is going to do that for them. I'm not buying the limited snap, whatever. If they're open and they can get to the quarterback or whatever it is, they're going to do it. So give me the Chiefs over the Jags. I don't think it's going to be one of those, 10, 14 point difference kind of games, but I definitely think they're going to walk out with a victory.
All right. I do believe the last time I checked, the Doug Peterson led teams, either Eagles or Jags, are 0-3 against Andy Reid led rosters. That being said, it's going to go to 0-4. I think
I didn't know that.
I think the Chiefs are going to win. The problem is that the Jaguars have to prove to me that they can close the big game. They had Mahomes by the fucking balls in the divisional round. He's got a bum ankle. They're up by 6 or 5 or where the fuck it was, and they could not do anything. What the fuck was that? I'm still mad about that goddamn game. Because if they won that game, Philly would have steamrolled whoever the fucking out of the AFC. It didn't matter. Anyway, KC has a way of weaseling itself out of trouble. It's the way they operate as a franchise with Mahomes at quarterback. And it's going to come down to the wire. This might be the best game of the fucking weekend. Mark my words. But I could easily see Mahomes chucking a bomb and so like MVS catching a dive and catch over the middle, quick timeout, and freaking Harrison Bucker's their kicker, right? Bucker knocking out a 55-yarder, game over. Chiefs win by 3. It's that is honestly how I see this game ending. You could put it in the books. Chiefs by 3, Jag cover, but Bucker hits a game winner at the buzzer. Like that's after Mahomes to bomb the MVS or Kelsey or insert or Sky Moore, whoever the fuck, it doesn't matter. Insert nameless receiver here. But yeah, no, I think Chiefs win, unfortunately. I tried to talk myself into Jags, but then Matt said, I was like, he won last year, and it's also early enough in the season where I can gamble. So fuck it. I'm gonna go with the fucking I'm gonna go against the Grant here. All right. 2 more NFC North matchup. The Bungles hosting the Ravens, 3.5-point favorites at home. As somebody who's drafted Burrow and Chase for his work fantasy league quarterback and receiver, I would like the Bengals to win because I think I'm playing my boss this week, or one of my bosses. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but the Ravens, Zay Flowers looks like that dude. Fellas, Ravens, Bengals.
I'll start it off. I'm gonna take the Bengals on this one. I'm not surprised with last week's performance. I did say the Browns were gonna upset them, and that's what happened. The Joe Burrow at the time was 1-4 against the Browns. He's now 1-5. This is what DJ and I think we talked about last week. Is what we expected. So I'm not concerned. I expected them to not do well last week, so I'm expecting a bounce back game right here. I think he's gonna air it out. I think Jamar Chase is gonna torch him. I think he's gonna look at T. Higgins when they're trying to double team Jamar Chase. And I just see this. Being a bounce back game for the Bengals. So give me the Bengals over the Ravens.
I will agree with you here. I'm going to take the Bengals as well. My biggest issue was last week. They beat up on a Texans team who was literally breaking the ice. Texans may beat DJ's Colts this week or may get smoked by them. I have no idea how to bet this game. In my pick'em pool for all the pick'em leagues I'm in, I asked if I could take a push and nobody gave it to me. So in one league I took Colts, one league I took Texans. I said, fuck it. That being said, this one actually matters for the marbles. I think the Ravens are going to be flawed as long as Lamar Jackson struggles passing. I think the Bengals are pissed off. They were embarrassed, and Joe Burrow wants to murder somebody. And he's more like the silent cool killer where he like sneaks into your back room with a silencer on and calls it a day. There's no big blow up craziness. I think they're just gonna. We might have a 20-point win by the Ravens here. I mean, a loss by the Ravens here, or we may have like a 5-point loss by the Ravens. Either way, Bungles win it for me. DJ.
So when we did our preseason predictions, when Kelsey and I did it, I actually had the Ravens winning this game, so I thought the Bengals were going to start 0-2, a little bit rusty. But then everybody on the Ravens died by the time week 1 finished, to the point where it's pretty much Lamar and Zay Flowers at this point. It's all left. So I'm going to say they cover the spread, but the Bengals come away with a win, something like 20-17, 23-17, something goofy. When Lamar and Burrow both play, they're usually relatively close games unless Jamar Chase gets 250. So I'm going to say it's close. The Bengals will get the win, but the Ravens will cover.
Fair enough. Mr. Mahler.
I'm going to go with the Ravens on this. I think the Ravens pull it out. I'm looking at years past and how the Bengals always start their seasons. They always start slow like this. They always have their offensive line sucks. And then they're going to start clicking by game 4 is what I'll say. I just think the Ravens looked pretty good last week. I know it was the Texans, and I know that they're a young team that's trying to figure things out and rebuild, but I think the Ravens looked good enough. I think Lamar shows up, and I think the rest of the team around him, with the wide receivers they were able to add with Flowers and OBJ, I think that was a good help for Lamar. And J.K. Dobbins going down, yeah, that sucks, but I don't think that's going to hurt them too bad because you have a running back at quarterback. So you should be able to do just fine. I'm gonna take the Ravens to kind of come away with this one though.
There you go. All right, Mace, finish us off here. We'll go to the last game of the pick.
I've got the Bengals here. I love Lamar. Everybody on this show knows I love him. But Burrow stinking it up the way, and I mean, really, all of the Bengals offense kind of stunk it up last week. I don't see that happening back-to-back weeks. I see Burrow having a big game. I mean, really everyone. Mixon, Burrow, T. Higgins, all those dudes going for big games. And I could really see this being a blowout, to be honest with you.
There you go. All right. I will move on to our next and final one here. Dolphins and Patriots. By the way, update on Miami. They are up 14-0, about to be 21-0 over Van Cookman. Anybody who actually cares. Eagles game will kick off in 5 minutes against the Vikings. This is my upset pick here. Give me the Patriots at home as my upset. Dude, that defense looked mean as fuck last week. And Christian Gonzalez is that dude. I watched him lock up Smith. This is the same guy who put Trevon Diggs on fucking skates, who's apparently a good corner. No, I'm just kidding. That being said, no, listen. I loved a lot of the things the Patriots defense did last week, and Tua played a cupcake defense last week with Los Angeles. And Bill Belichick's not Brandon Staley. You're talking both ends of the intelligence spectrum. One's got an IQ of 15. One's got an IQ of 1,500 when it comes to football. Bill's got an IQ of 1,500. Brandon Staley's basically a tomato when it comes to football play calling. Either way, I take the Patriots my upset pick this week. They've always struggled going up north. It's always been a thing. Doesn't matter who the fuck's playing quarterback for them. It's okay because the Patriots will lose to the Dolphins when they go into Miami at the end of the season. It's always how it goes. They always split the series, but Patriots win here. Mac gets his first win of the season. Mace.
You've convinced me, man. Look, Miami was just lighting it up last week, but look, is Tua going to go for 466 yards against this Belichick defense? I don't see that happening. Hurts looked completely contained last week. They forced a couple of takeaways against the reigning NFC champs. They looked sharp. I'm with you. The defense looked really good. If Mac can make a couple better throws, if they can be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end, and a couple of things go their way, who's to say that they don't pull this game out? It's at home. I'll take the Patriots simply because I don't think Miami is going to replicate what they did last week in Los Angeles.
All right. DJ.
I'm going to make it Three's Company too, because I think the Patriots are going to take this one as well. Defensively, they're not going to make the same mistakes that Brandon Staley did. The Chargers played, I think, 70% single high safety, which is very – you're just asking Tyreek Hill to toast you at this point when you do stupid stuff like that. Plus, the Chargers ran for over 200 yards. Ramondre Stevens, Ezekiel Elliott, they're going to eat control the clock a little. So give me the Patriots to win this one as well.
All right, Josh.
Yeah, I like what DJ said about the Patriots going to be smart. They know that this Miami offense is fast paced. They're gonna be flying all over the field, so they're going to run the ball. I think they keep it lower. So people that are trying to bet the over, I would maybe shy away from that because I think the Patriots are going to try to keep this a low scoring game by, for one, playing better defense than what you saw against the Chargers. But then I also think that they're just going to waste a lot of clock. But I kind of want to pick the Dolphins just because I think the Dolphins come out and win this one just because that offense is so fast. They're so good at scoring, and so ultimately, I don't know if the Patriots offense can score as much as Miami could. So I'm just going to kind of pick them just because I think Miami is known for this fast start to their season and slow down after week 6. So I'm just going to go with Miami on this for one to kind of break up the streak here a little bit, and just because I think that offense can be dangerous enough.
Fair enough. All right. Mr. Matt, round us off before we get into upsets, gimmies, and our house upset.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll admit I was very impressed by the Patriots defense against the Eagles last week. And as you know, like as obviously I don't like the Patriots, but I've been one that's very vocal that I believe Mac Jones is fine. He just needs an actual offensive coordinator, and you give him Bill O'Brien, and he's throwing 300-something yards. He looks a lot better than he did last year. So I think the Patriots are going to be very competitive and going to be in a lot of games this year. I think they're going to be very much in this game too. I can see this being like a 20-17 type game. I'm going Miami. If you didn't get the gist, I'm not picking the Patriots, but I think, like Josh was saying, Miami is a fast, quick offense. Their defense is crap. Their offensive line is crap, but they can get the ball out quick, and they have Tyreek Hill that is the speedster master to get the ball down the field as soon as you need him to with a blink of an eye. I think this is going to be a very low scoring, like 20-17 type game. I think the defense on the Patriots can contain the Dolphins, so Tua's not throwing 460-something yards. They're not putting 36 points or whatever up on the board. But I'm going with modern day NFL. It looks more like offense wins championships, and I'm going to go with the offense on this one. So give me Miami.
All right. I'm trying to keep up 2 games right now, so everyone made their picks?
Yep.
All right. We're going to I just need 2 gimmies out of Matt and Mason. Who are your gimmies this week, fellas?
Oh, I am going Colorado over Colorado State.
All right, Mace, your gimme.
Just give me OU.
All right. Now, fellas, it's officially week 2. Matt knows what that means. It's officially time to kick off our house upset season. We do one every 2 weeks. So we have 2 options. We're going to take a house vote here. So 2 games to choose from. One of them is our house upset. The rules are simple. If all of us agree and it happens, all of us get a point. If it doesn't happen, nothing happens. It's just kind of a bonus point for us. It's kind of a fun thing to root for. So, fellas, it's a 5-way tie. I'm the decision maker here. I will be the break vote if it's possible. Mason, Jets over Cowboys or Rams over 49ers?
Just outright winner?
Outright winner.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is a tough choice, but I think out of those 2 games, I'd probably have to take the Rams. I have little to no confidence in Zach Wilson. The defense seriously bailed them out against Buffalo, and it took Josh Allen turning the ball over, was it 3 or 4 times on Monday night for them to win 4 times, plus a punt return in OT to win them that football game at home. San Francisco looks sharp too. But look, it's your in-division rival. I mean, the Rams offense didn't look – I mean, they honestly looked kind of good without Cooper Kupp. They were moving the football. It's a fast-paced offense. And I don't see the Jets coming into Dallas and beating the Cowboys, especially after they won that game on Sunday night in the way that they did. So I guess give me the Rams. Give me the Rams over San Fran.
All right. DJ, Rams or Jets? Who you got more confidence in?
Give me the Jets because it took Josh Allen turning it over 4 times, and Dak is very likely to potentially turn it over 4 times himself as well. So I think if the Jets can just run the ball a little bit and slow down that pass rush, you got Dalvin and Breece Hall, make it a little bit easier. So, give me the Jets, even though I'm not betting either one of these. But give me the Jets as the one I feel more comfortable with.
All right. Matthew.
I really don't think, lightning strikes twice for the Rams offense right now. I don't see Tutu Atwell and Van Jefferson and Kyron Williams bailing them out over the 49ers defense. I know it's an in-division thing. I don't really see it happening for them. I'm trying to find a stat, which is why I'm kind of like in and out of this right now. But I don't think the Cowboys have beaten the Jets since like 2007. I'm pretty sure we won in 2011. We won our opener against them, and we beat them in 2015, and we beat them in 2019, and they beat us 34-3 in 2007. So currently, the Cowboys have not beaten the Jets in about 16 years.
So
Just to
all
put
of
that
us were
stat out
either
there.
in middle school or elementary school when this happened, basically.
Yes, I was 6th, 7th grade the last time that they beat the Cowboys. The last time they beat the Jets, and I am now 5 years out of college.
I mean, I think Deej was an 8th grader when this happened, but like you and me were in 6th grade, so yeah.
So I'm not to be the homer. I'm taking the Jets over the Cowboys for that reason. They both got fantastic defenses. I like the Jets' running game better. The quarterback obviously concerns me, but if this man can just have an average game, we should be okay. But I don't see Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, and Kyron Williams getting over on the 49ers defense. I think their 49ers defense and the offense just can mollywop them this week.
All right. We're at almost an hour and 30. We'll just do this rapid fire. Josh, who you got more faith in, Jets or Rams? Quick fire.
I don't think the Rams can beat the 49ers. I'm taking the Jets over the Cowboys, and I really think the Jets can win because the Cowboys' defense was good. It's going to be a defensive battle. Take the under, whatever that's at. But I think the Jets squeeze out a win against the Cowboys.
I am also with the Jets. Mason, you're lone wolfing. So the vote is the house upset this week will be the Jets over the Cowboys at -9. So if the Jets somehow beat the Cowboys this week, every member of the Korner Booth crew in our picks competition gets an extra point going forward. You'd be surprised how extra point can matter going as we go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to our sponsors, Muller Brothers, promo code BELLYUP15 for is it just Belly Up, right, Josh? Belly Up for 15% off at your purchase. By the way, some of the comfiest golf polos I have ever wore. Even if you got to order a size up if you got bigger shoulders like me. Don't worry about it. It's good, very comfy though. Either way, great stuff. Candidates, promo code BELLYUP20 for 25% off. And, of course, SeatGeek, official sponsor of the Rush Report, for $20 off your first purchase. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you stopping by. DJ, you can find him at Everything High-Low Sports, him and Kelsey's content. They do their Tier Tuesdays every Tuesday. They go live every Wednesday. And you guys do some shit on Fridays as well, correct?
Kelsey's got Fantasy Fridays, and then DJ has DJ's Best Bets that come out Saturday or Sunday morning. So there's something. Yeah. Just go follow and you'll find something.
Exactly. And maybe they'll have me back on that show at some point, even though I don't know. I feel like I'm banned from every podcast at this point. All right.
I will not answer that.
Oh, wow. Just fucking Kelsey ruining everything for me. All right. Josh, you can find his amazing stuff at Rising to the Occasion. That's with the number 2 in it as well. Josh, anywhere else I'm missing here?
No, yeah, just rising2.com. That's risingto.com. You can find all of our stuff there. We release on Tuesdays and Thursdays and live show on Saturday mornings for college football.
All right, and you can find me, Mason, and Matt at Everything Korner Booth Pod, and everything from reels to fucking whatever the hell Instagram's version of Twitter is, X, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Shout out to our intern Chris. Happy birthday, Chris. I hope you're enjoying Eagles Vikings right now. Eagles up 3-0 right now. Folks, enjoy your weekend. We will catch you guys on Monday for another episode of the Korner Booth podcast. We probably won't be live this week. It'll be me, Mason, Chris. Maybe we'll get another guest on. It might just be the three of us. Either way, enjoy the weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.